is Eddy. I'm a journalist from Voice K. How do you feel about being the main character of the story?
That's a good question. I know I'm technically the main character of the story because it's called Peter Pan, and I play Peter Pan. But I kind of feel that in this show, there's not really a main character because everybody on stage, as you saw, does so many things. So it sort of feels like I got to play the title role but not have to be the star, which is really an excellent thing for me. I really don't want all the attention that comes with that, but I really enjoy being the leader on the team, that sort of instigates a lot of the magic and the mayhem. But I wouldn't say that I'm the main character. I sort of think that I'd like to, think that the Smee the pirate is the main character, but I mean, some of the ensemble members probably think that they're the star too. They'll tell you that themselves.
Were you a fan of Peter Pan?
I was a big Peter Pan fan growing up. I only got a copy of the book, though, when I was in high school. So it wasn't when I was a little kid. It was a gift from a friend. And then when I graduated from school, which is in this same building, a lot of us went to school here, my best friend, who I run my company with, gave me a copy of Peter Pan that was her grandmother's. And that was the one that I opened up and started adapting the play from.
What part of the play is your personal favorite, and which part is your favorite to act out?
Well, that's a good question. I think I really like the battle at the end with Captain Hook. The sword fight is really fun to do. I think the part that I'm most fond of playing out is the part when we go underwater. I just like fighting Captain Hook. The other fight, I guess. Both fights, I really like fighting Captain Hook. That's the answer.
Does your role in the play relate to you in any way?
Oh, yeah, totally, because so we're at Soulpepper, at the Young Center for the Performing Arts, but they have brought my company, Bad Hats Theatre, in to bring our production here. So I am the co-artistic director of that company, which means that my friend and I are in charge. And so in a lot of ways, there are these parallels between me leading this band of hooligans and me leading this band of hooligans in the company. And I think Peter Pan is a character who just wants to have fun and play all the time, and I feel that way about my own life every day, and I get, really frustrated when I don't get to do that, and so does Peter. So yeah, there's a lot of parallels there.
And who's your favorite character in the story, and why?
Ooh, my favorite character in the story is Toodles, the Lost Boy, because Toodles is this sort of what I would call a bleeding heart, which means that she's just, anything that happens is like devastating. Anything that goes wrong, she immediately bursts into tears, and anything that's great, she's immediately over the moon. And Jocelyn, who plays Toodles, is really good at portraying that sense of immediately believing in everything, to 110%. And I think that, yeah, it's hard to look at her and not cry sometimes. She's just so good at it. So I like her.
What inspired your acting career?
Oh, I grew up really liking musical theater. So I listened to a lot of Broadway. I had, all of the lyrics to Cats, the musical, memorized to my parents' dismay. And I, did a production of Seussical, the musical, in grade 1, and then it just sort of went off the rails from there. I couldn't stop. So everything. I really like Barbra Streisand and David Bowie and Freddie Mercury, and they're the last two, they're musicians, but I think that they've got a real theatricality to the way that they perform, and that really kind of electrified me as a kid, and I wanted to do that.
Okay. And on stage, how do you project your voice? Because usually most people would hurt their throats by yelling.
Yeah, you can hear that my voice is like a little bit, usually I'll talk a little bit up here is my normal range, and it's a little bit lower because my voice is actually really strained. It's a good question. Actors taking care of their voices, especially when they're in a show where they have to sing all the time, is a really big and important thing. What I do to take care of it is I have a machine that steams my voice, which is sort of looks like I'm sucking on a robot, but it's really healthy and not scary. I drink a lot of water. And I rest it. So after this interview, I'm going to stop talking entirely until tomorrow when I do the show again, probably. Which means that sometimes you get a bit of a boring life, but, when my voice heals better, I'll talk again. Yeah.
In the past, have you ever made a mistake in front of an audience?
Oh, gosh. I mean, 14,000 mistakes tonight. I make mistakes every day in my life, and especially on stage. It's live theater, so everything's bound to go wrong, and that's half of the magic. And, I think that some of the greatest moments are the ones that go wrong, and the people that solve them, often create new moments in the play. That's a lot of the way the show was created, actually, in the room with all of the actors. The whole sense of humor of the play derived from people pretending to do their lines but saying something kind of different just to make a joke and make everybody laugh, and then we kept it in the show. So happy accidents is a big proponent of our work. Yeah.
And is there any piece of information that you will give to any other person who wants to become an actor?
Oh, that's a good one. Lots of things. Read a lot. Keep making things. If you want to make new work, which is what I like to do, great. If you don't want to make new work, great. But do keep doing creative things, and it doesn't always have to be that you're performing every day. If you want to be an actor, you should write, even if you don't think you're much good at it, and even if you're not going to show it to anybody. You should write, you should paint, you should go see opera, you should, just engage with creative things. And really, I told this to a group of students yesterday that were asking me the same question, but I think it's really important that people don't pretend to be any further along in developing as an artist than they are. I think it's really important that they just sort of go, this is as much as I've learned up until this point, and here I am. Yeah.
And thank you for your time.
Of course, no problem.